Never thought death would announce itself so politely. Not with screams or knives, but with small, tidy details: a forgotten note, a second phone, a calendar left open on the kitchen table. He said it was a mistake, but I've learned that the most dangerous lies are the ones said softly. It began the week after our 5th anniversary. The house felt too quiet, the kind of quiet that hums underneath your skin. He started leaving early, coming home later. His perfume changed. His voice had a new weight when he said my name, as if he was rehearsing the sound of it for someone else. Then I found it. A notebook, slim and gray, tucked behind our electricity bills. Inside, pages of neat handwriting, dates, times, and one word written again and again beside a day that hadn't come yet. Done. At first, I told myself it was nothing. Maybe a work project. Maybe his odd way of remembering appointments. But under that same date, he'd scribbled something that froze the blood in my veins. She won't see it coming. I remember staring at that line for minutes, maybe hours, the way you stare at a closed door, waiting to see if someone's on the other side. That night, he kissed me before bed and asked, almost gently, "You trust me, don't you?" I said yes, but inside, something small and sharp had begun to move. The next morning, I checked his phone while he showered. There was a contact saved as doctor, but the messages weren't about medicine. Tuesday confirmed. Dispose after. She doesn't suspect? No, not yet. I almost dropped the phone. That night, he asked what was wrong. I told him I had a headache. He smiled, kissed my forehead, and whispered, "Rest. You'll need your strength." I didn't sleep at all. I started noticing things. The way he stared at me a moment too long while I poured tea, or how he'd ask if I had life insurance yet, just in case something happens. Something happens. The word followed me everywhere. One evening, he said he was working late. I followed him instead, driving 3 cars behind, heart beating like an alarm clock. He parked near a riverbank, met a man I didn't recognize. They shook hands. The stranger handed him a small envelope. I leaned closer, trying to see. My car door creaked and his head snapped toward me. For a second, our eyes met across the dark. And then he smiled. That was the night I knew he knew that I knew. The next morning, everything was too normal. Pancakes, coffee, a kiss before work. Except, his watch was missing. The same one that never left his wrist. When I went to make the bed, something cold slid under my hand: a new phone. No lock. Just one message on the screen. "Tomorrow night. Be ready." My heart dropped when I saw the file attached. It was my picture sleeping. I wanted to run. I should have. But curiosity is a dangerous companion. It whispers that maybe, if you just understand the plan, you can change it. So I didn't run. I waited. I set up a camera in the living room. I replaced the sugar in the bowl with powdered aspirin, harmless, but bitter enough to raise suspicion. I wanted to see what he'd do when he thought I'd noticed. That night, he poured me tea. I watched his hands tremble ever so slightly. Then I noticed something I'd missed before. 2 cups. He always drank coffee. When I hesitated, he smiled. "You first," he said. I lifted the cup, just enough to make him believe I might drink. And that's when the doorbell rang. He froze. The police stood outside. I had sent them the recordings, the messages, the notebook, every thread. He looked at me one last time. "You shouldn't have read that calendar," he said. And in that instant, I realized something terrifying. There were 2 names written under "done." The first was mine. The second, the man he'd met at the river. He wasn't just planning to kill me. He was eliminating his partner afterward. Even now, sometimes I wonder if I hadn't found that notebook, if I'd trusted him a little longer, would my story have ended differently? Maybe. Or maybe this was how it had to be. Curiosity saving my life, one page at a time. Because sometimes, survival isn't about running. It's about reading the clues before the last chapter closes.